Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Maths Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. We'll be going straight to the next mechanism, which is differentiating a constant, okay? Like I always say, please make sure you review previous videos because as we keep going down this series, we'll be bringing some mechanism from the previous videos, okay? So make sure you don't skip any video and try to watch it to an end. And if you've not liked, subscribed, or shared this video, I don't know what you're waiting for. Don't forget to click the notification bell so when I post new videos, you'll be the first person to know. All right. So in this series or in this video, we're going to talk about how do you differentiate a constant. So for instance, you're having y is equal to a. All right. So we're having y is equal to a, where a is a constant. All right. So we have y is equal to a, where a is a constant. So for instance, you are having something like y is equal to 5 and you're told to differentiate, or you're having y is equal to 20 and you're told to differentiate. This is pretty easy, all right? And like I said, the first thing, always remember, I'm going to be writing it in all my videos. Make sure before you start differentiating, it has to be in an index form, okay? And also, to differentiate a constant, there's only one rule. This is pretty the easiest. So the rule is that every isolated constant always differentiates to 0. So that means if you see any isolated constant, the derivative of that constant is 0. So that means every, okay, the keyword is isolated. So that means it's a constant, every isolated constant. So now this is not a constant that is with a power. Like it's not like, for instance, it's not like we're having 5 x raised to the power 3. This is not an isolated constant, okay? We're talking about something like y is equal to 5. This is an isolated constant, all right? So every isolated constant, let me clean this out. So every isolated constant always differentiate to 0. So every isolated constant always differentiates to 0. So what I'm saying is that when you have y is equal to a, when you find the derivative, the y over dx for this is going to be what? 0. So every isolated constant will always give you 0. So this is going to be a very short video because it's pretty easy and straightforward. So for example, let's go back to that question. If y is equal to 5 and I want you to find the y over dx for this, it's an isolated constant, it's going to be 0. If we have y is equal to, let's say, -4, for instance, and we are differentiating this, the y over dx for this, it's an isolated constant, it's going to be 0. If you have, you can pick any number, y is equal to 2 over 3. It does not matter if it's a fraction. So far it's isolated, then the y over dx is equal to 0. So basically, when we say isolated, it means that there is no x. Maybe I can write it down so that to make it, so when we say isolated, so isolated constant, okay, when we say something is an isolated constant, it means no variable is attached to it, okay? So no variable is attached to the number or to the constant, okay? So you can see there is no variable attached to them. Okay, so you don't have something like is y is equal to 5, y is equal to -4. There's no variable, no x attached to them. That's what we call an isolated constant. So let's pick one more. So we have, let's say, negative -20 over 7. It does not really matter. So it's an isolated constant. So you're going to have the y over dx is going to give you also what? 0. All right. All right, so that will be that for that. So I want you to try this as well. Okay. Number 1, if you have y is equal to pi. Number 2, you have y is equal to square root of 2. Number 3, you have y is equal to half. Number 4, you have y is equal to -3 over 4. And you were told to find the first derivative of the y over the x. So you can try it, put your answer in the comment or discuss with a friend and try as much as you can and see what your answer will be. But always know that when you have an isolated constant, the answer is always what? 0. Okay? And that will be the end for differentiating with a constant. So I will go to the next video, which is differentiating a unit power. I'm going to talk about the next mechanism. And like I said, always make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell. So when I post the next video on how do you differentiate a unit power, you'll be the first person to know. All right. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice day.